All right, it's another day on the VFR. I'm not really sure what I'm doing today, so my thought is to go through the parts that I have that are waiting to go on the bike and see if something inspires us. All right, so first up, I've got this throttle tube. It's just a generic sort of throttle tube. I've used this exact same thing before on the Honda Grom because that bike was also in a wreck. So I might as well put this on the bike. But yeah, you can get a better look at it. It's got the little hooks there for the throttle cables. And it's just a plastic tube, basically. So we'll just go on our little bike like so. I just need to open this up again. There's our throttle tube. Next we've got our lug nuts. 4 lug nuts. That's all I had to buy was 4. It's pretty cool. That's all we need. The problem with lug nuts is that they sell them typically in sets of 4 sets of 4, 16, that's 16. They typically sell them in sets of 16, and so because they're for cars and whatnot, so getting them just for one wheel is an unusual order. But yeah, let's see if we can throw these on the bike. All right, and this is kind of a silly one because I don't think it's actually going to work on this bike. But if it doesn't work on this bike, I can use it on another bike, specifically the CB500, so I'm not too concerned about it. I ordered some guards, some sort of wrist guard sort of things, and these are really lightweight. Hand guards, you know, your throttle is right here. This thing goes in front here. But yeah, I don't think they fit on the bike. This is my problem. Let's go look at it. Because yeah, I think these are designed, like this part here goes on this end, right? I think this is actually for the other side of the bike. Hold on. So like these are designed so that this part is supposed to go on the end of the tube there, and then this is supposed to connect via another piece. Hold on. There's basically another clamp in here. You can see this clamp right there. That clamp is supposed to go on the other end of the bar here, attached to right there, but my problem is there is no other end of the bar here. It stops here, and this is supposed to go over there. I don't really have a long enough bar. Like the bar would have to be like this or something, which I could make happen, but this is really, if you take a look at the CB500 over here, this goes in the end there, and then this bar has, you can see how there's a bar down here to attach to. The clamp goes on there, over there, bam, that's what it's designed to do. So this might more than likely will end up on this bike, the CB500, at some point, rather than our VFR. I might come up with some other design for the VFR, we'll see. I'll keep my eyes open for something that like just goes on the end here, and then maybe I fabricate some sort of like wind guard, brush guard thing that goes on the front here. It's mainly for wind. I just want something that will block wind to make my life a little bit more comfortable, because I'm not planning on running heated grips on this bike, because supposedly the heated grips are just too much for the charging system on this bike, and this bike already has an issue with the charging system to begin with. So I'm not trying to put myself in a hole here. So yeah, but I would like something that will help make colder weather rides a little bit more comfortable, and so blocking the wind is it's one of the ways of doing that. So I'd like to do that on this bike. The other thing we've got is just a universal sort of generic brake fluid reservoir for our front brake lever, basically, which should be here somewhere. Oh no, this is this is something else. This is clots, some octane booster for storing bikes. This is my dad's like secret to storing bikes and other equipment basically over long periods of time. This is what's in the old Sportster here, and the Sportster has had that same gas in it for like 8 or 9 years at this point. Yeah, it's got to be at least 9 years of that gas, and that bike will still run. So yeah, I had to get some of this stuff to store that Sportster, man. All right, let's open this one then. Let's see. Brake. I'm looking for the master cylinder for the front brakes. This guy's got it packed, man. Oh, another one. Ah, there it is. Alright, so yeah, this is our master cylinder for the front brakes. Got the little wire, kinda. But yeah, this came off a ZX6R or whatever, but pretty cool. It looks like it's in decent shape, but it is missing. It's missing a little fluid reservoir, which would be this guy here that goes on there. I'm gonna attach it to this guy right there, and yeah, this should be pretty nice, but we need this guy up here, and then that should be the attachment for the little brace or whatever that holds this reservoir up, and which is something I'm gonna have to make. So we'll do that later, but we could throw this on the bike while we're thinking about it. Oh, it's got a mismatching bolt. That's pretty cool. I'm like, this feels wrong. But yeah, this would go up on here like so. This throttle tube should be out towards the end here. Let's get the throttle tube sorted first. And this, I'm not sure, this will change positions probably, or angles, because I don't know. Until I get the seat on there, whatever, I don't know exactly how this is gonna feel, you know, when I'm using it, but pretty cool. And it's got the little adjustable bit up here. Well, in theory, these are supposed to be adjustable. Do I have to loosen it? I feel like I should take that apart, dude. This guy here should adjust. I should just be able to push that thing and have this adjust the lever, and it seems stuck. Oh, there's a little tiny ball bearing in there. Fucking A. Yeah, a little rusty ball bearing inside there. Oh yeah, I think I need to take this apart, dude. So I think there's a mechanism in there that's sort of frozen up. Alright, so yeah, if we take a closer look at this, now that we've taken it apart, you can kind of see that there's a little bit of rust there, a little bit of rust there. That's where the little ball bearing goes. It looks like there's a little bit of rust down in there as well. I might take this. Oh, crap. Where did that went down in there. All right, so we've got to, but yeah, there's this little piece of aluminum in there. You can see that coming out, but this is the part that is supposed to rotate around. You can kind of see how it has this little oblong wedge on the side, and you're supposed to be able to rotate that guy, and that is what moves this thing into different positions. We've got like a cobweb down inside there. I don't think that was our problem, but we do have a cobweb in there. What are these? Are these little tiny springs in there? Nothing some WD-40 won't fix. But yeah, we got little tiny springs. Those little rusty bits are tiny springs in there. Yeah, I wish these parts guys, I mean, I understand why they do it. I mean, they just space, but these bikes sit outside at the parts places, I believe. They definitely sit outside like after they get wrecked, which is unfortunate because there's so many good things still on a bike that get kind of neglected and whatnot, which is unfortunate. But yeah, this is like a Brembo master cylinder, which is pretty fancy stuff. I got it fairly cheaply. You can see it's in what most people would call rough shape, but it's still very functional to me, and that's what matters. But yeah, again, you can see some rust down in there, and there's like a ball bearing type guy in here as well. Yeah, this is rustier than I realized, though. Yeah, you can see a little spring down in there is all rusted up. Probably get some sandpaper. Yeah, we should have some sandpaper around here. Try and sand the rust off of this. Try and clean it up. I'm going to brush it a little bit. I can only do so much as it's so tiny. Yeah, then I'm going to throw some grease on all this stuff. Just because I feel bad for it. It does not have any, it's not been getting any love, man. The love it deserves. It deserves better than this. Then we've got these little tiny ball bearings. I'm going to try and sand them as well, which is kind of, just doing that is insane. And hopefully that will work pretty well. I wish I could clean these things up better. They're just so small. Grease makes things look a lot nicer. All right, how did this go together? All right, so this guy should go in like this. There's a little groove in there for the ball bearing to go in. Is it supposed to actually turn or something? I don't see why it would. It's supposed to, it's like it just is there to flex a little bit or something. Alright, so that's kind of restored, I guess. I don't know. And then this part. Alright, and then tiny ball bearing. Try and grease that guy up pretty decently and then stick it in there. And that is the bottom. Now I can turn this at least. It's kind of only partially in there, but we can turn it. I think the grease will help our situation here. All right, and then tiny ball bearing. No, I can't. It's got to be this way. All right, let's try that. And I've got to get this guy on here. But yeah, now it moves. I think that will be, I think that's how it's supposed to, I think I got it correct. That little silver part in the center there, you can see how that sort of wedges out at you. If you look at this angle, you can see possibly how that sort of comes out like that. Anyways, it's sort of it steps out a little bit at a time and that pushes this thing out further from the handlebars. So in theory, this is back together here. And then I just had to put it back on the bike. All right, there we go. We got something now. All right, and then my last package here. Some hand grips. Some very stylish hand grips. Look at that. So I'm not gonna put them on the bike at the moment, but these are our hand grips, Joe. All right, I want to check off whatever I can check off on here. Rear wheel lug nuts, bam. Shifter lever, still working on that. Front brake master cylinder, bam. So securing the dash, that should take no time at all. Let's work on that. All right, so actually looking at the front here, I don't want to secure the dash yet because I'm gonna have to move that thing. I still need to take this whole front end apart yet. And these bump stops are a major issue for test riding because I can't turn the bike adequately. So yeah, I need to come in here. I need to decide what I want to do with these bump stops. Sort of shave them off, how I'm going to shave them off. I don't really want to take this part out because what's happening is that these bump stops are hitting this thing first and it's limiting how far we can turn the wheel. The best move is to take the bump stops off of the lower triple clamp there. So I need to do that, but I'm going to need to make new bump stops somewhere in there, and that sort of has yet to be determined. All right, so I got the tank up here, just sort of sitting on here, but it's in the spot where it would go. And this is what we needed to determine where a bump stop should be, because I want the handlebars to come in sort of more like this, but not hit the tank. That's where we want the bumping to stop. This is going to be basically some fit up where I need to take the front end off, shave these bump stops down, and then, what I want to try, and this is sort of a symptom of like fumbling around in the dark, is I'd like to not just clip that whole thing off. I'd like to just shave down this one side of it if I can, because I'm imagining I'd like to be able to sort of shave down one side of it and then add sort of material on the other side of it, weld some material on the other side of it to build it up and sort of gradually shift it over to the other side. It'd be real clean if I could just sort of cut half of it off and then add half of it onto the other side. That would be nice. I don't know that that's going to be the case. This is going to be a lot of work. The way I'm thinking about doing this is going to be a lot of work. I've seen other guys where they just cut these things off or whatever, and they drill a hole through here and put like a bolt in there, and they're done. I don't like that. Doesn't seem as clean to me. I also, because there's this steering stem that's sort of that's attached to this guy here, I can't just take this whole thing off and like stick it in the mill real neatly and get in there, because the steering stem would be sticking up into the mill and interfering. I could lay it on its side and sort of come in with the mill like this way and get it, and that's probably what I'm going to try at least. My goal is to get, you can see right back here, I want the bump stops to be hitting that, and that's what I want to be stopping it. I don't want them to be hitting this. But you can see like it comes up and stops at this guy right now, and I've still got like an inch right there before it comes in contact with that bump stop. Yeah, that guy's almost exactly an inch there, and then before it comes into contact with that other one it's like 3/4 of an inch. So if I shave off half an inch on both sides, this thing will move half an inch closer in that way, and I'll still be like 1/4 of an inch off. Yeah, that's a different math equation, because I mean half an inch down there at the bump stop, this thing, the handlebar is like way out. Like if you think about it like a circle, like the bump stop has this little circle on the inside there, and we're coming way out and the radius is much larger with this guy here. So for every half inch that bump stop moves, this guy's moving inches, multiple inches out here. So that gets us a lot closer to this tank a lot quicker than you might think. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll take like 1/2 inch. I'll just cut that bump stop in half and then put it back on the bike and see where that puts us handlebar wise. See where we end up. That might be enough, and then I could add a little bit more material on the other side of the bump stop to try and get us to get into contact with the actual frame. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow.